So, have some of you heard what's been happening in Virginia as of late? Cause it's been fucking crazy. I wanted to touch upon it today because it's just been a really weird chain of events. And it all happened so fast. Now, for those who don't know, violent protests broke out in Charlottesville, Virginia, and the preamble to it, what kicked this off, was a push from the Lee County National Association for the Advancement of Colored People to try and remove a statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. Now, hearing plans of the removal of the statue stirred a muck with far-right leaners who live there, and even some people outside of the state. Hearing about this, a protest was organized and they were vocal against that action. Even our good dickhead friend Richard Spencer was amongst the ones leading the people and leading them with torches. Now, if you guys don't remember Richard Spencer, maybe this clip will refresh your memory.
Pepe's become kind of a symbol.
So protesters gathered at the University of Virginia to the statue of Thomas Jefferson. People were chanting things like, "White lives matter," and "You will not replace us."
Blood and soil!
Torches in hand, chants echoing across the historic campus.
You will not replace us!
This gathering was called Unite the Right. Now, the one who actually organized this event was a man named Jason Kessler, who is a staunch alt-right activist. Now, he posted a video on his channel a few weeks ago about the Unite the Right movement, and he does encourage people to try and come and be peaceful and be nonviolent about it.
Unite the Right event on August 12th. I wanted to come out, first of all, and invite anybody who can peaceably assemble and who can listen in a nonviolent way to come out and hear our speakers, including myself, Baked Alaska, Richard Spencer, and many of the other people who were here at the Torchlit rally.
Look, people can speak and protest if they want, even if I don't like it and even if I don't agree with it. They have the right to say their shit, and they're protected under the First Amendment. We have to protect that. However, the line is drawn when violence happens. To me, that's where shit goes too far, as most people would probably agree. It doesn't matter which side started it or which one did it. It doesn't matter.
So-called alt-right demonstrators clashing with counter-protesters, some swinging torches. Police dispersing the crowds, calling it an unlawful assembly.
Soon, counter-protesters showed up in downtown Charlottesville to have their protest in response, and the same goes for them. Obviously, whatever they say is protected as well. However, these protests have escalated to the point that the governor of Virginia had to declare a state of emergency.
Virginia's governor declaring a state of emergency, saying, "I am disgusted by the hatred, bigotry, and violence these protesters have brought to our state."
Now, I'm going to show you the footage of the violence that has been happening there, but I have to tell you, it's pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up to the point that people are running over others with their cars.
The full-on demonstration! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Hey, come here! Come on!
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Jesus Christ, and the people who got run over in that video were the counter-protesters. Now, the driver of that vehicle has been apprehended and is now in custody. Whether or not he was part of the Unite the Right movement is still anyone's guess right now. Jason Kessler stated in a Periscope video where he talks about the protest he was against what the attacker did and doesn't condone his actions, but stating that it was ultimately the police and media's fault for why violence broke out there. He also states they had every right to be there, saying that he had a federally approved permit to do so. ACLU of Virginia posted a tweet saying that the police state that they will not intervene until given command to do so. ABC News posted an article a few hours ago talking about the event, and they said, "The driver of a car that plowed into a crowd of demonstrators after a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia Saturday has been arrested, as city officials reported that one person died and 19 are injured following the incident." White nationalists and other attendees clashed with those who arrived to oppose the demonstration, which began with a torch-wielding group marching through the city Friday evening and was intended to culminate in an event entitled Unite the Right, set to begin at noon on Saturday. However, the event was shut down by authorities in the early afternoon. Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe declared a state of emergency in the city, and the police ordered the crowds to disperse. Also, on a side note, if you go on the university's website, you actually see that they're advising people to stay away from Charlottesville. So look, I'm going to give you guys my personal opinion on all this. This is just what I think, so take what you will. But I agree that the statue ultimately should be just taken down. Now, I don't really care about the statue. I don't. It doesn't affect me personally, and I didn't care that it was up before anyway, so I look at it like how they took down the Confederate flag. All it is just an object from the past that doesn't have any bearing here and now. There is no longer a Confederacy, and Robert E. Lee was just a general. Many of the protesters wanted to take down the statue of Thomas Jefferson at the university, but there's a clear difference with that. He was a founding father. He founded the University of Virginia and our nation. So I think that kind of outranks a general, don't you think, just a little? Not only that, but even if they did get rid of Jefferson's statue, it doesn't matter. Doesn't change what he did or what he stood for. I wouldn't give a shit. But it makes more sense to have a statue dedicated to him than Robert E. Lee. But that's just me, and I'm not a Southerner, so I guess I just wouldn't know. I just wouldn't understand. Now let's talk about that elephant in the room that always finds its way to sneak in: skin color and race. Everybody's talking about skin color and race. You have this on both sides, and I've covered this many times on my channel in the past, and yet I still find myself in an endless loop having to talk about it. I don't take pride in my skin color or race, nor do I hate or belittle other skin color and or race. Fuck, I don't even take pride in being an American. Like for me, personally, I take pride in being a human, as part of a unique species that exists on Earth. You know, race, skin color, when we're born, we don't control that shit. We have no say amongst that. Just like I didn't have any control in being born in America. Yet here I am, being an American. Race means nothing to me. We're all humans. This is why we shouldn't be so concerned with these things, nor should we be concerned with things in the past or care about shit from the past, because that gets you nowhere. I mean, good God, you don't remember that old saying, it's what's on the inside that counts, not what's on the outside? That thing that fucking children's cartoons teach them about all the time? But no matter what you think on this, no matter what your position is, people shouldn't be fighting amongst themselves. People shouldn't be killed over shit like this. People shouldn't be injured. I disagree with both the far right and the far left on shit like this. I disagree with the far right here because, I mean, when even Republican officials are condemning your actions and Trump even coming out and saying,
but we're closely following the terrible events unfolding in Charlottesville, Virginia. We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides. On many sides.
That should tell you that what you're trying to accomplish probably isn't fucking working. No one should be condemned for their skin color. White people are included in that too, but I'm just sick of seeing this racism from both fronts, and to top that off with unnecessary violence, death, chaos, and destruction, it's just horrible. It's sad and pathetic, and over what? A statue. A statue. That's all it took to spark this. Now you want to tell me that, oh, well, this is just their response to Black Lives Matter and identity politics. You're just doing the same thing they're doing. Race baiting, being violent with each other, only caring about your white identity as opposed to their black identity. You are no better. In fact, you're showing me that you're probably worse. But please just stop with this racist ass bullshit. I'm just sick to death of having to see and hear about it all the time. That's not working, and that hasn't been working, so maybe a new approach needs to be made, you think? That goes out to both sides on this fucking thing. The governor of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe, had a press conference to discuss the issue, and he had this to say.
We work here today to bring people together, to unify folks. I remind you all that we are a nation of immigrants. Unless you're Native American, the first ships that came to Jamestown, Virginia in 1607. And since that time, many people have come to our great country to unite us. Our diversity, that mosaic tile of immigrants, is what makes us so special. And we will not let anybody come here and destroy it. Come with me to help a veteran find a job or a place to live. That's what we need help on, to bring people together. I spoke to the president this afternoon, and we had a conversation, and I told the president that there has got to be a movement in this country to bring people together. The hatred and rhetoric that has gone on and has intensified over the last couple months is dividing this great nation. We need to work together. I told the president that twice. I'd be willing to work with you if we can work together to bring people together. But stop the hate speech, stop the rhetoric in this country. We have got to bring people together.
So with that, I think that'll be an appropriate place to end this video, but what do you guys think? What's your opinion on all this? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch all of you in my next video.